to Talk with Alana podcast for immigration practitioners in Canada. In today's episode, I have my very, very dear friend Oleg Schindler. If you want to know how much revenue exactly Oleg made in his year 1, year 2, and year 3 of practice, you should watch this podcast. I love how open and transparent Oleg is. We talk about how crazy Oleg's schedule is, how he handles 25 consultations per week, and how he managed to grow his multiple immigration companies to the point where they are right now. So let's jump into this episode. Today we have our guest, Oleg Schindler. Welcome, Oleg. Thank you so much for joining me today for my podcast.
Hi, Elena. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be with you here. And we know each other for a long time, and finally, I'm happy that you invited me.
Yes, we know each other for a long time. We're together on the board of our nonprofit association of Ukrainian Canadian immigration consultants. Oleg is actually a chair of our association. Oleg is RCIC. He has how many businesses now? Three?
Immigration or in general?
I guess corporations.
So let's say that right now I own 6 corporations, and 3 of them are actually my immigration practices.
Okay, yeah, so 3 of them immigration practices, plus you're a chair on our Ukrainian Canadian Immigration Consultants Association. How do you find time for all of this?
Well, I will not lie to you and to your viewers. Frankly speaking, I don't have time, but I have solutions how to optimize those businesses to enable some free time. But it's still, so the work in progress is the eternal process. So there's always way and room how to make things more beneficial and better, and it's all about work time and life balance and management.
Yeah, exactly. It's always work in progress. I think it never will be the way that it's perfect, right? Because we're just constantly evolving. We're constantly refining our business processes. So let's start from the beginning. Tell me, when did you get licensed? I actually don't know how long you've been licensed. Which year was it?
So I started my program it was probably some half a year before COVID. So it was really funny because part of my studies was already during the COVID, and I was actually the first one who took the language test online. I was in the batch of the first 10 test participants for Kyle in the as a part of my licensing process. Yeah, so I officially got licensed somewhere in 2020, I think. I don't remember exactly, 2020, I think. Yeah, but my career in the immigration field actually started way before that, so something like in 2016, 2017. But not as a RCIC.
Because you used to work in another immigration company, right?
Yes, so basically my career in immigration started with some connections in the Office of International Students at Carleton University, where I studied as an international student and did my master's. But after graduation, one of my first job was in the immigration company, and actually I was in the position of business development manager. Basically, my goal and my task was to develop the business and to find ways how to improve it. That's where I started to think of this industry as a potential career for myself.
But have you ever do any work in terms of immigration cases before? No. You started your own business? No.
This is the funny thing that no, because when I was working for immigration company, I was doing stuff like marketing, web development, even some role of human resources, everything about a proper work of the immigration office. but the actual experience in doing cases I gained only like on my personal cases, like my own immigration. And later on, once I got when I was in the process of becoming a licensed immigration consultant, I already established my first company with another fellow RCIC. So I simply learned from her on how to do cases, how to manage things. So we were working under her license. So like we were partners, but at the same time, like I wasn't an immigration consultant yet. So I just learned.
Yes. So you started like helping her, I guess, right? And then this way you were learning. And then when you got your own license, you started your own business, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So did you have like any doubts when you were graduating, like whether you want to start your business or go work maybe for somebody else as an RCIC, or you just knew that you want your own business?
Well, in my specific case, I was already convinced that I'm going to work for myself, and I didn't plan to work as.
So it was not even like a question in mind.
Not a question at all. Yes, and again, like since I already knew like about marketing, about web development, about all the tricks how to actually launch a business, I was pretty sure that like the moment I get the license, I start my own journey, and well, 5-6 years after that, I'm very happy that like how it goes.
Well, that's good. I know you're, like we talked in the beginning that like you are very busy, and I know that I'm always like super just surprised with your schedule of consultations. So tell me, how many consultations do you on average handle per week?
Paid or in general?
Just, I guess, general, or you can tell like for whom do you provide paid consultations and for whom not paid, and
yeah. So basically, the reason why I'm asking, because so like regularly I have a schedule of approximately 25 to 30 paid consultations a week for all my immigration practices.
That's crazy.
But at the same time, like so you know better than me that like you get so many inquiries through WhatsApp, through Facebook Messenger, through LinkedIn, that somehow you find yourself talking with additional batch of people out of schedule just because like you know that they are referrals, or you know that they are in urgent need of like you have to find time. And especially since many of my clients are Ukrainians, so sometimes like I don't want to work, but at the same point I feel that okay, like it's a fellow Ukrainian, let's help them. Okay, I call back and we schedule calls after my schedule.
Yes, well, this is crazy. Like 20, even you said 25 to 30. So let's even like stick with the lower end, 25 consultation. If we divide it by 5 work days, that's 5 consultations per day. I assume those ones are like 30-minute ones, or like do you have 30 minutes, 1 hour?
So actually, I try to play with different models and modes of consultations all the time. So my approach is the following. So I always offer my clients the option of 20-minute consultation for situations when they have specific 1, 2, 3 questions. Usually these are people who already have their like express entry after ITA, or those who are about to submit the application, they just hesitate about something specific. So frankly speaking, I like those the most because like it's it's the easiest money I get, because like I don't do anything, I just answer the questions. Then I have a mode of 40 minutes consultation. Usually it's for initial assessment of the case, just to build a basic roadmap for the client, what to do in the next 6 to 12 months in terms of obtaining their immigration status or building a strategy.
Sorry, can I just interrupt you here? Like, is it so it's 40 minutes you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it enough for you, 40 minutes?
Well, I already reached that point when I literally can calculate points for express entry or some provincial programs without even looking at the at the specific page. So yeah, like I optimize my time.
You don't usually go over time. Like it's fine, 40 minutes.
I do go over time sometimes if needed, but not no longer than like let's say 5 to 10 minutes, because it is a usual gap that I have between the consultations.
Yeah, so, it's just why I'm asking, because right now I have So I tried something, and I will need to fix that, because basically what I tried doing is that I have been having like forever now, like just 1 hour consultations. Then what I tried to do, because I'm focusing my business this year on just Ontario PNP applications, that's like my main focus. So what I tried to do like, shrinkflation, which is essentially, you just shorten the consultation time, right? But the price kind of stays the same. So I put ONP consultations and lengths 45 minutes. So I do have a lot of bookings for ONP, 45 minutes. I started playing with prices and all of that. And, when I do ONP consultation, like literally this week, every single one, I could not make it in 45 minutes. I need like full hour. So this week I was like, no, I cannot do this anymore. Like I need to actually schedule this properly. So I have a full hour. But I think it's very like personal, like it's the style, how you do the
Yeah, it really depends. Well, again, like first of all, I always allow my clients to leave like all important information before they book. So it somehow already can orient me like what topics to raise and what to discuss. And again, but like for more comprehensive analysis, I have the third option of 60-minute consultation, which I call like the complete assessment and the actual strategy planning. So again,
so you have like 20, 40, and 60 minutes.
Exactly. And like on my website, when my clients they want to book, they clearly have this explanation. So that the 20 minutes consultation is recommended for those who have very specific 1, 2, 3 questions. And the second tier is for those who have just like they have no idea about what is about like immigrating to Canada. They just want to get the basic understanding. And 60 minutes is always recommended for those who like need a clear strategy. So it really helps clients to select what they want the most. Obviously, there are some clients who still try to get everything in 60 minutes for 20 minutes, but in such situations, I simply stop them and ask them, guys, like you should book one more consultation. I really apologize, but I have another meeting scheduled. But based on my tough schedule, they know ahead that like they need to plan properly, because like it's always. I assume you also get this messages. I tried to book your consultation, but the next one is only in 3 weeks. What should I do? By the way, for such clients, I have the fourth option, which is called urgent consultation. I charge double for that. It's usually in my after hours from 6 to 8 every evening. So if you take my time out of my family, then please pay double, but you will have the consultation like almost like the same day or next day, or like in 2 days. So these are the options. But in terms of days,
I really recommend like that I think any RCIC should have an option of urgent consultation, honestly, because I don't do it after hours, but I just do it same day. So for me, it's just the same day, because I always in my day I would have a slot, and my urgent consultation is 30 minutes. And I have like 300 plus HST for 30 minutes. And, like, and they book like once in a while, like if you don't want to wait, like they would book. It's funny thing is that people who book, I don't know if you have the same, but people who book urgent consultations almost never have urgent issues. So it's almost never actually urgent.
Yeah. One of my recent urgent cases was a guy who thought that he is going to be deported, but he simply got the a permit to enter Canada for 3 weeks instead of 6 months like as he hoped, and he got visitor record. He was sure that he is going to be deported after 3 weeks, and like the second case I got in the urgent cases just like probably like 3 weeks ago, it was a guy who got a refusal for express entry. He was so frustrated that he wanted it immediately just to understand what happened.
So this is actually very common that a lot of people, they get refusal. And I mean, like, if I got a refusal, I would want like immediately to know what to do, right? Because you're scared, you're stressed out. So you want to have that option of talk to somebody like right now or like today, right? So a lot, like I would say majority of my urgent consultations are refusals, or just simply people trying to get ahead of the schedule, right? right? Like they don't want to wait. So I think like honestly, any RCIC should have it in their schedule because it's just, it's a revenue, it's great money, and it's convenience to people, right? Like you're actually giving people what they want. Because I'm kind of that person, if I need to talk to accountant, I would say like, listen, I'll pay you for your time, I pay you double, whatever it is, but I need this now and I need this today, right? Like I appreciate your time, just tell me what it would cost. So
Exactly.
that's why I understand this kind of approach, and I think everybody should have it. So
Yeah.
And sorry, so going back to our conversation about your consultations. So if it's like, let's say 25 consultations, so it's like a general 5 consultations per day, but you don't do it every day, do you?
Yeah, not exactly. So that's what I was saying, that I usually try to play with formats. So initially, there was like a period when I was literally doing like non-stop consultation, 10 to 6 every day. At some point, I simply started to realize that I have no time for actual production, even though I have a lot of assistants, like staff who help me.
You mean case work, right?
Exactly, yeah. So right now I practice the following things. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, these are my consultation days, while Tuesday and Thursday, these are days when I submit applications, when I check files, when I prepare documents, etc. However, like I already plan to try a different mode in the fall. So the idea is to look at the following switch. So Monday will be like morning hours, Tuesday will be afternoon hours, Wednesday will be morning hours, Thursday will be afternoon hours, and Friday again morning hours. I just want to compare when I am more productive. Like if I divide, because
Yes.
obviously after like on average, if you have like 6, 7, 8 consultations a day, you are completely drained. So instead, I want to check like, will I be more productive if I have like 4 consultations a day, let's say, or 5 consultations a day, and then I have still some time for production or not? And like, well, I will keep you posted like what is more efficient in my case.
Yeah, but it's so cool that you're playing with it, and that's what I do all the time too. So for me, it was the longest time was that I realized that like I cannot do like have my full day open for consultations because I'm just like in the morning, that's when I'm productive. So I started scheduling, I think it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, only from 9 to 12. And it worked really, really good and I really noticed how my consultation quality actually went up because I was like, it's in the morning, I have energy, and I actually enjoyed it, right? Because when I have a consultation like scheduled for 4 p.m., I'm like, I'm hating everybody. Like of course I try my best, like, and everything is good, but still you don't enjoy it. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Another idea, if you want to try that maybe, is that doing week A and week B. So on week A, you can do like certain schedule, whatever you decide. And week B, you can do like a different schedule, which is like, for example, week A, you can do like, okay, I go hard, like my workload is hard. And week B, you kind of chill more. So I've heard of that as well. I've tried it a couple of times, but it didn't work exactly great for me because it was just like, I think if like I'm in a working mode, I need to like continue doing it and I cannot just like switch the weeks. But I've heard that was working well for some RCSCs.
Yeah, it could be an interesting option for sure. But like another thing that I want to add, so probably the healthier thing that I can recommend to other RCICs is enable yourself like a break in the middle of the day to have a proper meal. It's the most important decision in running a business. So whatever happens, like from 1:30 to 3 o'clock, it's my like break time when I can literally even like have some to read some news, just to relax, to eat properly, to eat healthy, and then I can return to like a second part of the day. So like
I totally agree with that. Like that's a big one because and not only like for your body, of course, but also for business. So I recently was listening to one of the podcasts and I really liked the topic of the podcast was all about like this kind of stuff that we're talking about, and it was about like very hardcore like burnout that some people experience. And what this woman was saying is that running a business, especially if your goal is to run it like to a seven-figure business, is literally like sport, and you are an athlete. And if you are an athlete, you should behave like an athlete. You should treat your body like an athlete would treat their body, right? You should eat really well. You should, rest. You should, like, athletes that are training for sprints, for Olympic Games, they're not just like running sprints all the time. That's not how it works, right? So I really like that analogy, really helped me to understand that, okay, like, yes, if I want to build something significant, I need to start treating my body like that, right? Like, you need proper meals, you need proper breaks.
Yeah. By the way, I have another good life hack that I recently started to use. So again, like during COVID, we all switched to remote mode, and right now, like, I can literally run my business from like everywhere. So we do have offices, but like most of the time, I consult from my home office. So the idea is that during the summer, I moved my office to to the first store of my home, where we have a treadmill. So most of my consultations are in video mode, where I literally consult, I share my screen, but still some clients prefer a phone calls. So as I said, since I am able to calculate points in Express Entry without like watching, on the website, my phone consultations are now on treadmill, and it's really cool. So I put the speed of 2 kilometers per hour, and I simply talk and walk.
I should ask my husband
and do money.
To do the same, yeah.
And do money.
I love that. I know that our colleague, who is also on the board, Ilya, he has like a treadmill and a computer, and he walks and works at the same time.
Yep. It's a good thing to combine.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that desperate yet, but yeah, it's good. Okay, so tell me, like, obviously you have a lot of consultations, you're super busy. Where do you get clients? How your marketing is looking like, and how do you make sure that you have that flow of consultations coming in?
So I would say that like I have several different channels from where I usually get clients. So the first funnel I get, the first like source, it's obviously my websites. Again, like I also run like the marketing business that offers like web development and marketing services. So like we have different companies, different websites, and like a generic like SEO, like organic SEO works well if you know how to do it. So on average, I would say at least 5, 6, 10, like from 5 to 10 consultations I get from my website. So I literally ask people, how did you find about me? We Googled you. So the trick here is to know what keywords to target and to select. So like it would be silly to run after keywords that everyone is running for. So it's always best to think what you are good at, where are your clients where are they coming from, and then simply to target them for specific keyword. For example, startup visa. Like it's a small program, literally, like comparing to
like you don't target
programs.
Keyword like immigration, right? Because that's
definitely no.
Crazy. Yeah.
So if you want to target immigration, well, target it with your location. For example, immigration consultant Ottawa. Okay, so like I know that I am on first, second page of Google for this keyword simply because not many consultants are targeting this keyword. Or if you want to target a specific country, well, like target immigration from username to Canada. It's always a good thing to play with a specific keyword. Think about like where you pour your investments before like just doing it. Like because don't run for Express Entry Canada. Well, because everyone is doing that, you will not win this competition. You will need to invest like even more, and like you will not have the results. But if you target something specific, well, that will give you some results. So the other channel.
Oh yes, I actually Googled. So I Googled immigration consultants Ottawa, and here's like Schindler. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's true. So the other channel for new clients is obviously referrals. So you do some initial stuff for many people, sometimes for free, sometimes for a fee. But again, happy clients is the best source of the new clients. Where to get the very first clients? Well, it's another whole story how to get them. But right now, like I do get a lot of referrals.
Yes.
The third channel where I get a lot of clients is I communicate and cooperate with content creators. So I am myself a content creator in various instances, but like right now I cooperate with several YouTube bloggers, with several agencies who generate content, and we have like a partnership of like referral links.
Yep.
Like it's always so. I would say that like the split of my clients right now is probably like 33% for each of those three channels. And to be honest, I don't know which one is more efficient, because like every channel has its own benefits.
Yes.
It's like I would recommend in general, don't try to like to bet on one channel only. Always try to think where else you can get more clients. Once you get like too many clients, divide and think what clients are the best. I really wish to every immigration consultant to reach the point when you can afford yourself to think, do I want this client, or do I want to refer this client to someone else, or do I want to tell this client that, okay, sorry, I'm busy at this moment, I cannot take your case if I don't want this case, or if I'm not confident that I can deliver, or if it's someone after, I don't know, 10 refusals, well, you would think twice if you want to take such a client or not.
Yes, exactly. No, yeah, it's definitely useful to know. And SEO, that's something that I need to respond to your email. Now I remember. But because, I'm planning to really invest into that, because what happened this year is that I decided that that's it. I'm officially done with my Instagram. So in March this year, because I have Instagram, like other than referrals, of course, referrals from past clients is just a natural source of clients. But like from outside sources, Instagram was my big one. And I just said, like, that's it. I'm sick of this platform. I can't because this platform became such a like time suck. Like it's just sucking life and time out of you, because platform is so demanding. You need to really, really, really produce a lot there to get the flow of clients for your business. So I said, that's it. And plus, like I've been doing this for 7 years, like for Instagram since 2017, I've been doing Instagram. So I said, like, that's it. It's been enough. And now I'm like completely want to switch to SEO kind of stuff. So what you are doing, and then referrals. And that's like, honestly, and newsletter, that's kind of stuff. Yeah.
I would add that so comparing social media and SEO through your website. So the difference is that social media, they allow faster results. So it's a better way for short-term goals, but for your long-term goals, website will always win, because again, like if you win a specific keyword, you can keep it for years. Like in my case, it was like, so I targeted for approximately a year and a half a keyword of Startup Visa Canada for Eastern European market. So so for Ukrainian and Russian speakers, one of my companies and landing page for Startup Visa, it's always not only on the first position of Google, but usually in the first 5 positions, like going up and down, but never lower than that.
But that takes time, right? Like a year and a half.
It takes time. It takes a lot of effort in terms of backlinks, in terms of updating the content, keeping it in a good shape, following new procedures of Google. Don't think that if you have a good landing page, it will serve you forever. Not at all. Like you need to review it all the time, and if you need to modify, you have to do it all the time.
And then realistically, what it really translates to is that, like you probably were doing it yourself because you know how to do it, but I'm not going to do it myself. And other RCSCs, because I don't know how to do it. And the last thing I want to learn right now is how to do SEO. So what it translates to is that you would have to consistently invest on monthly basis into a specialist who would really do your SEO, and then only in certain time, I think it starts after 6 months, that you will start seeing like actual consistent results, which is really actually hard to change your mindset too, because it's like sometimes it may feel like you're just giving money like away and nothing happens, right? Because it's not. And Instagram feels like you're posting something and instantly you have bookings coming in and money coming in, and that's why, Instagram is kind of like fast results. But what I realized is that honestly, long game is a bad game. And the thing is that on Instagram, you have to be like physically posting it. And like a lot of it is shooting your own videos and shooting, like it has to be you. And SEO, it doesn't really require your involvement, right? Like, yes, you pay money, but you don't need to do anything like much, right?
With social media, you work for your brand. With your website, your brand works for you. That's a definition, and that's the distinguishment between them.
Yes, exactly. But our CSCs should be really ready to be patient with SEO, because that's
what I also try to it always makes me laughing, but I recommend everyone, when you get those ads about we will bring your page on first page of Google like in 1 month, keep away of those guys. Like it's a scam. Like it is simply impossible unless you're ready to invest, I don't know, like 500k immediately. Well, then yes, obviously with such an investment Google will push you very, very high, but like it is not worth the cost. So
yes.
I
totally agree with that. So you have a lot of consultations. I assume you also submit a lot of cases, right? How many cases do you have a number? Like just monthly, like, I don't know, average you submit?
So I would say that I don't remember the exact number, because it is split between few different practices, and in one of the practices it's a cooperation with another RCIC. But I would say that on average we submit approximately between 150 cases to 200 cases, depending on the type of the program. So one express entry case could be like similar to, like, could be equal in terms of workload for, I don't know, for 5 TRVs or something like that.
Exactly.
So it really depends. But in total, we get like for sure over 100 cases submitted annually.
Yes. Okay. So obviously, you're doing really well, and you have steady flow of clients, SEO and referrals, and those content creator agreements work for you. What are the challenges in your business that you have right now? Like, what is something that you may be working on right now that you're trying to kind of get through?
Well, so the biggest limitation I face, and like I'm still struggling to find a proper solution for that, is again, obviously business, it's about delegation. You cannot run, like there are some small businesses who are solo project, like it's a different way of doing business. But if you want to grow, if you want a like 6-figure income, if you want 7-figure income, you have to delegate. Whatever you can delegate. But in our industry specifically, there are some things that you literally cannot delegate, sometimes because of qualifications, sometimes because of the legislation. So we cannot ask our assistants to consult clients. First, because we are the RCICs, we are the licensed people, and the knowledge of assistant will always be lower than your knowledge. And so even if it is illegal, if it would be illegal, which it won't, you need to do it yourself. So submission of application also, you cannot delegate that. It's your responsibility, it is your liability, and frankly speaking, it's your contract with the client. Client didn't hire you that your assistant will file the case. No, like they hired you because they know you, not your company. So given the number of cases I get and the number of consultations I get, like the hardest thing for me right now is to have enough time to do it. So one of the things I was thinking of is hiring junior immigration consultants who then can be delegated something. But again, whenever a new consultant works for you, at some point, they communicate with clients, they get they become the point of contact, and obviously at some point they will start getting referrals from other people. At some point a junior consultant may think, okay, so why can't I simply split and start my own business? I already have my own network, and like that's what I do. So it's always there are pros and cons of like how to manage this situation. So I have no one solution for this, or one recommendation what is better, to have a junior RCIC in your staff or not. Up to you.
Yeah, no, I totally understand it. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the podcast with Rhea Patel
Yeah,
that came out just recently, because she is really, all into like the business model when you hire junior RCACs, and the same Florence. I don't know if you know Florence from Saskatchewan. She also like she hires junior consultants basically, but the logic of it, and I'm not in this kind of business model, but their logic is that it is given that junior consultant is going to go away. It's you hiring somebody knowing that it is 1 to 2 years kind of a lifespan.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So you're kind of banking on the fact that, okay, that person is going to be 1 to 2 years. And I think the key here is to really have the transparent relationship and, of course, the employment agreement, right? That would, put everything on paper, that everybody is on the same page. And but I'm totally agreeing with you. Like, it's very, like, the specifics to our business is very, very hard, that nobody but you can consult, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just can't, right? Like, you can't delegate it or submit cases. I mean, your legal assistant, they can do submission of cases super easy for you. So that can be done. That, like, I don't see that much of a problem with submission, because if like legal assistant is good, it's like just half an hour
Well,
of work.
after you check the case, yes, well, like, so just to do the technical submission, obviously we can, like, we
No,
can
you have to
delegate.
check it, but
But I mean, yes, so it still needs your, like, I don't know, like 1, 2, 3 hours regarding, like, depending on like what complex is the case, how complex is
exactly.
it. You need to check it personally because it's your license there and your name over there.
Exactly, yes.
But regarding hiring the consultants, again, like another interesting thing that I experienced in my practice, again, like going back to the company where I gained my first experience. So it is funny for me that like older companies on the market, they tend to believe that they can sign a junior RCIC on non-compete agreement. Guys, this is not enforceable. Like, you cannot prohibit someone licensed to practice.
Look, it's not enforceable, but it's still, there is a mental kind of understanding.
Yes.
They don't know, and not everybody knows that it's not enforceable, right? So the person on the other side, like for example, in my employment agreement with the legal assistant, it says that if you are enrolling into Queen's University to go start your path towards RCAC licensing, then you have to tell me. Is it enforceable? No, it's not enforceable, but they signed the agreement and they're like, okay, I have to tell my company that I'm doing this, because then they already know that they're doing something wrong and they start hiding it, right? So it's still, putting on paper still works, even if you're not going to go to court later.
Yeah. Well, my sense here is that like what I usually recommend is like don't sign them on non-compete because it is unenforceable, but sign them on non-solicitation. Well, if there is a client whom they submit, if someone comes from this client as a referral, well, it was your license and your company, so like you simply like let them know that like it is wrong to steal the referrals. It is wrong to approach your subcontractors. It is wrong to to use your sources for their own practice. So this is something that can be enforceable in the court, but like non-compete, like we prohibit you from practicing immigration law in Canada. Well, guys, come on, it's stupid.
It's not gonna work. But still, honestly, like there's so many people that work without any contract period that putting something on paper is already a good step forward for most of people. For sure. I'm happy that you brought up like your work in a previous company, because I was going to ask you this question, is that do you think for like more junior RCACs, do you think it makes sense first work a little bit for some other immigration company just to get the kind of feel of how things work and only then start the business? Or do you think that it's just like, start the business right away and get into it? Like, which way do you think is better?
So I would say that it really depends on your personal background. Again, like if you already have some professional background in different areas and you're active on LinkedIn and you are like, if you already decided like which segment of the business you're going to practice in, well, I would still recommend going on your own because like then you literally build everything as you want. If you go to work for someone, yes, it is easier to start because you have a salary, you learn how to work, you can get experience. So it can like it may look as an easier start. But as for me, at some point you will still need to start your own business. You will still need to make your own decisions. So why not to start from scratch, like without any effects? Because like other companies may teach you A but may not teach you B. They may give you some cases how to, for example, like I have a good experience. One of my colleagues, she was doing LMIAs in one company. So she learned how to submit files, but she had no clue about how to conduct interviews, how to do the pre-assessment of the company's eligibility itself. So she knew the theory, she didn't know the practice. And it took her a while until she learned this. But when you do everything from scratch, well, then you do the whole process. Like it is like, yes, you will do your mistakes. Don't be afraid of that. Mistakes, we learn from mistakes. But if you already did your mistake at the very beginning, there will be no situation when you position yourself as experienced and then you do mistakes of a junior. Like, do your business. If you feel not confident, well, approach your more experienced colleagues for assistance. Join retainers, after all, like, so there are other ways how you can do. So I would say that I'm more among those who recommend doing their own business rather than working for someone.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good to know. For me, the same, but just previously, earlier today, I had another podcast recording with RCAC. His name is Howard, and he is working like full-time job as an RCAC, but also he is having his side business. So he is very risk averse, and he's like, okay, maybe like in 3 years I'll do it. And there are different kind of factors to his decision, but also one of the main factors, or one of the crucial factors, would be financial situation, right? Because he has a family, and I totally get it, right? I totally understand that if you have like family dependent on you, you have, a wife, maybe you're, I don't know, sending money back home, or you have kids, or whatever the case is, and it's more pressure for you. So if you're starting your business and you feel like, you don't know you don't know where to get clients, it can be different, depending on that situation. Now, can I ask you this question? Is that, were you able to substitute your employment income with your business income in the first year of your practice, or did it take a while to get there?
Yeah. Well, so again, my case would be probably slightly different from like majority cases, because when I started my immigration practice, I already had my marketing business, which also was at the early stages, but my backup was my marketing business.
Okay.
So at some point, so even if I have like a completely dry month with no clients, no retainers, no consultation, I still had a source of income. It wasn't great. It wasn't like completely enough. I still, from time to time, I had to take some like extra projects just to cover my expenses, but it enabled me to develop my immigration practice, to overcome my marketing business in terms of income. But again, like, when I got more boost in my immigration practice, it in turn allowed me to get more investments into my marketing business and to boost it in turn. So right now, like, immigration and non-immigration incomes, I would say they are equal for me. But again, like, it's not a regular case. So for someone who starts from scratch, yes, it's better, or either if you have like a day job and then you do your immigration practice, or if you have some savings, then yes, like, I personally know two RCICs who are relatively young. They are in their like late 20s, early 30s when they started. What they did, they literally, so they had a well-prepared business plan. They took a loan, And with the help of this loan, they started. So they invested in a good website. They invested in marketing, both website and social media. Yes, they started to get some ROI only after, like, I would say a year, but it's also a way. So how you can start.
So that was my question to you. How long did it take for you in terms of immigration business to get to the level when you're like, okay, like we're good on money, like you feel comfortable, like how year, 2, 3?
So, well, I can even tell you exactly. So, like my year one, I ended up with something like 25, 26K only, like total consultation, cases, everything in total. My second year, it was already something like 70, 75 approximately. So year 3, we ended up with tripling, and like it just continues. So, well, I'm not sure how long it will take me to reach like the 7-figure income from my immigration business. I hope it will be sooner, but I'm on my way to that.
But you know what they say is that once you know how to make $100,000, you know how to make 500. But once you know 500, you know how to make 1 million, right? So because it really goes like that. Well, yeah, thank you for your transparency. I think it really gives people very good idea what they can kind of like expect and what are good numbers and what they can expect really, because it's just when you were saying the numbers, I remembered that a couple of weeks ago we hosted a Ukrainian party like in our house of RCACs, like our Ukrainian RCACs, and we had fun in the backyard. It was all great, and we were talking about different topics, and then my husband, because he's Canadian and everybody else is Ukrainian, he was telling me is that people are like so straightforward, like so direct, like in a sense of like honest, like in an honesty way, like so transparent and honest. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's the way we roll. And I really like that, right? Like you said the numbers, and it gives somebody, like if I was listening to the podcast, I would want to know these numbers because it gives me like a good kind of base of understanding what is normal, what is not normal, and like what's happening, what I can expect from business, right?
By the way, speaking of transparency, again, like in my opinion, our like industry requires us to be transparent in almost all aspects. It's just like a funny experience I just had a few weeks ago. So like we hired a new assistant who had experience in another immigration company. And it was like, so like when people come to like a different country, they experience a cultural shock. So this was the case. She experienced a cultural shock in the new company because, so what happened before submitting the application, our norm is we literally send a screenshot of the profile. We send a full document package to the client for review, and we literally demand them in writing to send us, hey, dear Oleg, I reviewed the whole application. Everything seems to be correct and accurate. Please submit my application. This protects me from any, like potential complaints on the client side. So
honestly, it even makes you sleep better at night, because if God forbid anything happens, you know that this weight of responsibility is not only on you, but it's also on the client.
Sure. And again, like being transparent, like it's beneficial. So my point was that like this assistant work. What did you do? Like, what did I do? You sent the whole application to the client? I mean, like, yes, it's a regular thing in our company. Like, we want to be transparent. What happens if we had a typo? What happens if, 0607? What date is it? Is it July the 6th or June the 7th? Like, like, I can simply, omit this, like, unintentionally. And the clients always know to the best his personal information, so they can verify everything. It's like, in my previous company, we never did that. Like, it was strictly prohibited. I mean, like, guys, but what would you do when the client was refused? They will obviously blame you for that.
By actual rules, we have to do it, right? Yes.
Yeah. Moreover, so even from the legal point, so the client's documents are their legal property. Like, we need to disclose them.
Of course, like what's being submitted. Unfortunately, it happens very often that it's not being disclosed. Yes, but you know what? But it's a great practice also in terms of legal assistance. That because when legal assistant knows that they have to send the final document to the client, and what happens if there is a typo? Well, you're going to probably check it 3 times before you send it to the client, right? So it keeps them accountable as well. So it's like such a small thing to do, but it just really, really helps everybody.
Yep, that's correct.
Yes. So Oleg, tell me, what would be your main or the biggest advice or recommendation that you would give to another RCAC? It can be anything. It can be a book or just life advice, business advice. Tell me.
Well, let's put it this way. So the best thing you can do is experience new thing, learn new thing, try to take 2 hours a week for learning something new, read a new article about something new. For example, like just last night we were watching some YouTube video about quantum computers and what is the difference between regular computer and quantum computers. So again, who knows, maybe one day we will all buy quantum computers and it will make our practice faster or better, who knows. So yeah, I'm trying to be as much as I can into IT to learn new trends, new things in marketing, in web development, in internet, in social media, just because. So like always learn, always keep your eyes open for new things, new trends, because who knows. Even from the point of view as why do I watch news? So as an immigration consultant with political science and history background in my undergrad, so what I do, if I see that there is extremist party taking a lead in specific country, or a revolution, or a war, well, at least I can expect that they may be increase in the interest of immigrating to Canada from this specific country. So natural things that I would do, I would try to check, maybe I can market my services over there. Maybe I can publish a blog about this topic and tell citizens of this country, hey, we are here in Canada, we are very friendly, there is no war here, come to Canada. Well, even from such things, you can find something beneficial for your business.
Thank you so much, Oleg. Yes, I totally agree. And sometimes, we're too busy and we just don't have energy to any extra information to come into our brains. But it's super important just to have a little bit of time, maybe on Friday or during the weekend, to continuously improve and learn not only immigration law and immigration updates, because it's every day we need to read them, but also other stuff, right? Because by the end of the day, it all impacts the business. So thank you so much, Oleg. It was a pleasure having you, and thank you for joining. And
thank you, Elena. Yeah, pleasure is mine. Thank you for inviting me, and I always love to chat with you, whatever is the topic.
Thank you, Oleg. Okay, see you later.
See you. Bye-bye.